Hello and welcome to Inside the Americas. I'm Thomas Waterhouse and here's a look at what's coming up in this week's programme. As Barack Obama prepares to leave the Oval Office for the final time, his Republican predecessor gears up to become president. But still, not everyone is happy with the idea of Donald Trump at the White House. We also go inside the building that's been Trump's HQ since he beat Hillary Clinton in November's election. We take you through the golden corridors and halls of Trump Tower in New York. And Brazil's prison system is once again rocked by gang violence, beheadings and riots. We bring you a special report on one initiative aimed at raising awareness of the living conditions inside jails there. Well, it's a week then of massive change in the US as we say bye-bye to Barack Obama and good day to Donald Trump. The outgoing president has been busy bidding farewell to his entourage and has found time to welcome the Chicago Cubs baseball team to the White House, who presented Obama with his own player's shirt. And among his final acts as leader, he's issued a series of commutations and pardons, which means that Chelsea Manning, the woman responsible for one of the US's biggest intelligence breaches, will leave prison early. But the wave of protests that started when Trump was elected president is showing no sign of dying down, with demonstrations taking place across the union. Our correspondents have been to meet those still disgruntled by Trump's future vision for America.
The beginnings of any new administration are chaotic. Some groups, though, believe the Trump presidency could bring something much worse, a new civil rights struggle in the United States.
No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA!
They denounce the support that the president-elect received from openly racist groups. They are the members of Refuse Fascism and predict that widespread anger will soon become the norm.
We will not allow Trump-Pence fascist regime to take power.
There are millions and tens of millions who are horrified, who are disgusted by this, and the need now is to translate that into millions acting.
They want to be heard and spoil the party on Inauguration Day in Washington, D.C. That's what unites a wide range of groups that have planned to demonstrate on this day. At this get-together, the slogans that will be chanted are being decided, as well as some of the surprise protests they may have in store. Donald Trump won the Electoral College vote but lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton. This will make him into an illegitimate president, according to this group.
Most people in this country didn't vote for him, and we want to reach those people and show that by coming out in the streets, taking direct action, marching, asserting our rights, we can stop his attacks on all of us.
Some projects go well beyond the 20th of January. This is Jackson in the U.S. state of Mississippi, where these activists are exploring the abandoned terrain and the houses they recently bought.
Yeah, purchased it where we're in the process of paying for the building, but it's already ours.
This is where they plan to build what one might call a parallel society. They themselves call it an eco-village.
This will be probably one of the first buildings that we're going to fix up, so we can actually have people staying here to watch over the eco-village as we grow and get bigger.
Private funds, they hope, will allow the group to launch the more concrete phase of the project. They want to live together and live on what they grow. The stated objective of this group is to be ungovernable, starting in 2017.
We'll do that by bringing our forces together, about focusing on the things that will allow us to be self-sustainable so we don't have to depend on you to be able to do things for us. We will do it by educating people who are around us so that they understand what government looks like and what being ungovernable looks like, which means that you cannot come in and dictate to us the way that we need to do things.
There are other ways of protesting Donald Trump's inauguration, and many of them will converge on this 20th of January 2017. Adam Eidinger and those surrounding him here will roll thousands of joints that they'll hand out for free on the day itself. They are campaigning for the decriminalization of this drug. Its users can end up in prison, and this group's fear is that the new administration won't be very forgiving.
More than 500,000 people are still going to jail every year for marijuana. This is the #1 reason why people have their rights stripped from them. And it affects people of all colors, although primarily as many as 50% of the arrests are African American.
They all plan to thwart the plans of a Trump administration, be it in whole groups or as individuals. Some federal employees have even refused to cooperate with the transition teams who will be taking over their most sensitive files.
Now, do you have a spare €2 million floating around somewhere? If so, you might be interested in buying an elegant apartment in the new President's Tower in Manhattan. As well as housing his office and 3-floor luxury apartment, Trump Tower also has workspaces, boutiques and restaurants. And since the Republican won November's election, it's also become the focus for some rather frenzied media attention.
A first surprise for many visitors to Trump Tower. Its legendary lobby is open to the public. Tourists taking snapshots of the same gilded escalator Donald Trump rode down to announce his candidacy. An even bigger attraction, the elevator, also gilded, which goes to the office of the next President of the United States. Since the election, this elevator has carried every one of Trump's visitors, a cavalcade of cabinet hopefuls, stars, and billionaires, all before the watchful eye of the TV cameras that have been camped out here for over a month.
I have to wait for the light to come, and then whatever light, I zoom into that elevator, so you always have to have your eye open over here.
It's politics, tourism, and shopping all mixed together. What happens upstairs is a bit more private. Up to the 26th floor, the tower is office space, including for Trump himself. Further up, 265 luxury apartments. Actor Bruce Willis and footballer Cristiano Ronaldo keep pied-à-terres there. Even Michael Jackson had a residence. At the very top, the inner sanctum, Donald Trump's 3-story penthouse.
Well, welcome to Trump Tower.
George Lombardi is an Italian businessman and Trump's neighbor. He's proud to live in the same building as the future president, whom he's known for over 20 years.
We both have a bit of a taste for the Rococo, the Baroque, but Trump's style is a bit more, let's say, American.
That flashy style is reflected throughout the building.
Some gold everywhere.
To try to sell vacant apartments, this real estate agent has had to change the decor.
Everybody prefers modern, clean, simple, minimalistic.
The list price, €2 million for 100 square meters. But for now, no buyers. Trump Tower seems to have lost some of its residential appeal. That may have something to do with the massive security cordon that now surrounds the area. Luxury boutiques in and around the tower are losing clients, with some itching to move out, since the nuisance won't be letting up anytime soon. That's because even after he moves to the White House, Donald Trump plans to spend his weekends here.
The Brazilian government has ordered soldiers to help shore up security in the country's prisons. This as the Defence Ministry set about laying out their action plan. Police have fired rubber bullets as part of their battle to control a deadly riot in one northern jail between members of rival drug gangs. At least 26 prisoners were killed at the Alcacuz facility near the city of Natal. This latest violence has once again raised concerns about the dire state of prisons. Now, a new crowdfunded docu-drama made by former inmates is also turning the spotlight on the harsh reality of life in Brazil's jails. Our team in Rio have been to find out more.
It was the brainchild of a group of young Brazilian prisoners, a film to raise awareness of conditions inside the country's overcrowded jails. They wrote the script while they were still behind bars, and they called it Free.
Todo mundo de cueca agora.
O que está acontecendo? Qual o problema?
Eu dei ordem para uniformizar.
Free offers an unflinching look at the reality of prison life.
In a Brazilian prison, the conditions are worse than they were in concentration camps.
The film's director still wears an electronic bracelet. A former Rio drugs boss, Gilson Camillo, used pen and paper to work in prison on the screenplay. His 9 years behind bars exposed him to extreme violence.
Inside, you see the worst things that people are capable of. You'd be outraged. And I got to a point where I said to myself, what am I doing here? This isn't a place for anybody. That was when I found the will to reinvent myself, and I did it through art.
Gilson was imprisoned here at Bangu prison in the suburbs of Rio de Janeiro. With 30,000 inmates, it's currently the biggest jail in the country. Patrick Granger is the film's producer. He's brought his own experience to the project after spending 5 years investigating conditions in the Brazilian prison system.
We don't just want to denounce everything that's going on inside, but we also want to show how art can help rehabilitate prisoners. The actors in our film are the perfect examples. Thanks to experience of cinema and theatre, today they have work, families, even after spending 10 years in prison. They've reintegrated into society.
And the film's cast isn't stopping there. They're also writing songs and have even formed a band called Maximum Penalty. Their lyrics calling for action to end the deadly cycle of violence in Brazil's prisons.
And finally, the world of space exploration mourned the loss of one of its greats this week. The US astronaut Eugene Cernan, who was better known as just Gene, passed away at the age of 82. As well as being the second American to walk in space, he'll perhaps be best remembered as being the last man to step foot on the moon. And we'll leave you now with these pictures. Do stay with us here on France 24. There's more world news and headlines coming up.